4.2, Finding Zeros Practice. I'm going to give some additional examples just to clarify your understanding. The first set of problems, again, ask you to use the factor theorem to determine whether it's a factor. If you recall, we can either use synthetic division or we can find f of 1 because they're telling you that c is 1. So let's just plug in f of 1 to find out what the remainder is. So 3 times 1 to the 4th power minus 6 times 1 cubed minus 5 times 1 plus 10. So that gives us 3 minus 6 minus 5 plus 10. So you can grab your calculator and plug that in, which is what I recommend. If you can do it, instead of doing it in your head, we get 2. What is that 2? That 2 tells us the remainder. So since the remainder is not 0, then we know that x minus 1 is not a factor. Okay. One for you to try, number 2. Let's go on and look at numbers 3 through 5. In 3 through 5, the directions say to find all real zeros for the given polynomial. Use the real zeros to write the factored form of f. So, we want to find the real zeros. So I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to plug the equation into my calculator. 2x cubed minus 13x squared plus 24x minus 9. 9. Then I'm going to go to my table by hitting second and graph. Now, my constant term is 9, so I'm going to look for factors of 9. So negative 9, no. Negative 3, positive 3. There we go. There's one of the solutions, 3, 0, factors of 9. So I know one of my solutions is x is 3. To find the other 2, because I know I have a total of 3 solutions because it is a 3, the degree of the polynomial is 3, I'm going to do synthetic division with the 3. Put my constant terms across the top and perform synthetic division. Okay, so we know that it is a root 0 because we get a remainder of 0. And then we want to actually factor then, or write this quadratic equation, 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Are there factors of 6 that add up to negative 7? There are. Negative 6 and negative 1. Now recall, since a is not 1, we need to divide these factors by 2. So we know that we have factors of x minus 3. And because 6 divided by 2 is 3, we can't divide here, so we kick the 2 in front, and we get 2x minus 1. So our solutions are 3, we have a second 3, and we have 1/2. But it tells us to write it in factored form, so we have x minus 3, 2x minus 1, and I have to add this original 3 by just squaring here. So this is my final answer. Okay? Let's try it one more time with number 4. Again, go back to our calculator, go to y equals, clear out that equation and type in x to the 3rd plus 6x squared plus 6x, whoops, made a mistake, plus 6x minus 4. So I want factors of 4 is what I'm looking for in my table. So I see one right away, negative 2. So x equals negative 2. Let's see, there's not one at positive 2. How about a negative 4 just in case? Nope. Or a positive 4? No. So we need to find the other 2 by performing synthetic division. So again, we're going to put negative 2 in the box. 1, 6, 6, negative 4 across the top. And then perform our synthetic division. So we get a quadratic equation of x squared plus 4x minus 2. So is it factorable? Are there factors of 2 that add up to 4? No, there are not. So we need to use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is negative b, so negative 4, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 16, minus 4 times 1 times negative 2. So 4 times 1 times negative 2 would be negative 8, so minus a minus 8, which would be plus 8, all divided by 2. So we get x equals negative 4 plus or minus 16 plus 8 is 24. This is plus or minus here, divided by 2. And we know 24 is 4 times 6. So we get x equals negative 4 plus or minus 2 root 6 over 2. So our final answers are, because we can divide both of these by 2, so my other two roots are negative 2 plus or minus root 6. Now it did say to write it in factored form. So since I'm kind of running out, we can write it quickly, I guess. Down here we have x plus 2. And how do I write this in factored form? I'm going to write it as x. Since it's negative 2, I'm going to write plus the square root, plus the 2. So this would be a 2, sorry. X plus 2 plus root 6, and x plus 2 minus root 6. This is a 2 here, just in case. So those are our three factors. Okay. For exercises 6 and 7, we just want to find the real solutions. So again, I'm going to go back to my calculator, clear out my equation, type in 3x to the third plus 4x squared minus 7x plus 2. I go to my table and I'm looking for factors of 2. So 2 and negative 2 are not. But then I also have a 3 here. So I'm going to have 2/3. Well, I can't see that in here. So I can do one of two things. I can go to my table set and change it so it goes by increments of a third, because that's what I need to divide by. So I'm going to put in 1 divided by 3. And now when I go back to my table, I can see some of my zeros. Let's see here. Do I have any zeros? I have one. There it is at 0.66667. Well, we know that that is 2/3, because it's either going to be 2/3 or 1/3. So that's at 2/3. So we know one of my solutions is x equals 2/3. And then I need to find the other ones by dividing with synthetic division. So we have 3, 4, negative 7, and 2. Let's refresh your memory on synthetic division. What do I do here? I take 3 divided by 3, which is 1 times 2, and write it here. 6 divided by 3 is 2 times 2, and it goes here. Negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1 times 2. Okay, now notice how all of these can divide by 3. That's what I need to do before I get my quadratic. So it's x squared plus 2x minus 1. So again, are there any factors of 1 that add up to 2? Well, yes, negative 1 and negative 1, but I want a positive 2. So I need to actually do the quadratic formula again. It's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, which would be plus 4, over 2. So this is the square root of 8. And that factors down, it simplifies into 2 root 2, because it's 4 times 2. So notice how these all divide by 2. So my other two solutions are negative 1 plus or minus root 2. So here are my solutions. I'm going to let you try number 7.